Start streaming. Okay, it says we're live. Nope, sure enough, it looks like we're live. Minimize, minimize, minimize. All right. I'm getting beeps.
Need more of a Christmas backing.
I need something more Christmassy.
Yeah.
Oh, those are people in front of my house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting motion clips from my what do they call this thing? Oh, it's just people driving by. That's weird. There I went outside. That's earlier. I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn this off. I don't know why I have it armed anyway. There we go. Now it won't beep. All right. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah, good. I got my party hat on here.
I don't think we have to do too many club things, like, do we? I mean, it's just a party. It's not really a club meeting.
Just a party. Yeah. No, that'll bore everybody though.
Yeah. Let's see. Make sure I got everything close by here in the water. Oh.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, how's it going, Ginger?
Good.
See if she gets to wear a
Are
party
you guys
hat.
still eating?
My
We're
party-
just started.
Oh, there's Flip.
Hi,
He
guys.
just showed up.
Yeah. Hiya, guys.
What happens to us?
Uh,
So, Flip, do you know anybody that's into genealogy?
Oh, do I know anyways in genealogy?
Hi,
Was my mother, who passed away a couple of years ago, was so deep into it, you would swear she was a royalty or whatever.
Ah, okay.
All with the Mormon.
Yeah. Well, that's where it is. That's where all the info is.
Yeah,
They own everything.
they own everything. That's exactly
When it
right.
comes to that stuff.
I'm sorry. This is Dave. Let me introduce. This is Dave, our president. That's
me.
Jeff, the one I spent a lot of time over at his
Oh, hi,
place.
Jeff.
hi.
This is Patty, my other half.
Hi, Patty. This is my,
Patty the gambler. I know you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Ginger. You let the cat out of the bag.
Gambler.
I was a loser.
I can't wait.
Did she go to all the Vegas trips?
Actually, it's Casino 1, Patty nothing today.
yeah,
It's
Patty.
most of the time, I think. It's usually what it
Of
is.
course, that's why they look so nice. And they're
Well,
so
she
pretty.
hit a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I can't wait to go. I'm still kind of
18.
I don't know.
She won.
$4 grand.
She won 2,400 and 1,800 in 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
But and that was
I have my hat on.
Yeah.
Oh,
How did that happen?
I don't know.
How clever.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff. You've been working any DX at all? I haven't been. It's garbage.
Yeah, I
No.
heard it's the Northern Lights are the problem. This is the problem.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just been terrible. I've done 20, on 40, everything's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading it's something like that because apparently the Northern Lights are very intense. There's a lot of meteor activity,
They absorb radiation.
and the meteors are just like going nuts.
Yeah,
So
that's
sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's bad. It's weird
Yeah.
how that is. Just flips back and forth.
Like Dave here, he's got the yellow border.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
now we have the yellow.
Hey, Dave,
Well,
Dave,
it changes
are you letting-
depending upon who's talking. Supposedly, the person
Hey.
talking should have the border.
We'll flip over the.
Oh, you know, and I got to put on my headphones.
But Dave, are you letting your beard grow or something?
Yeah, I'm just letting it grow
Are
out.
you planning on getting a sleigh and passing out gifts?
There you go. I'm going to be Santa. Make a little extra cash.
Or here comes Pete.
Pete Hersey, come.
There, now I'm really official. Okay, let's turn this down. Oh.
By yourself.
Hi, Pete. How you doing? All right, Pete's here.
Hello.
Hi, Pete. How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi,
How's it
Ginger. Hi, Jeff.
Hi,
Looks like
Pete.
Bill's chiming in.
Flip.
Hey,
Hey, this is fun.
Ghost.
Cold in here. All right.
well, slowly. It's got about 3 minutes before they start coming online.
Who's that?
I don't know, everybody.
I see Bill Seymour's trying to come in.
My old bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, BIL.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw. I see him trying to connect
Schedules
there.
Our net control meetings.
Oh,
And Pete, what's your title now? Is it still?
Mister.
VE. He's VE
Mr.
coordinator.
Mr.
It's better than Mrs. Bill. Or
It
Pete.
is. It
It's
is.
better, yeah.
He's volunteer examiner coordinator.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Yeah.
And Jeff is a secretary.
Jeff's the secretary.
got a hat on.
I know.
Oh, Jeff and Ginger have snacks.
We're eating our dinner,
They're
darling.
having a party.
Oh, okay.
This is what you're supposed to do during the SPARC annual event. As
Yeah,
I'm-
it's,
I will show many instances where that was done.
It's happy hour, and I'm happy number 2.
Yeah, it's important.
There we go.
There's
There you go.
You'll just have to trust me that there's
Ginger, what's
not
that in
beer.
your-
Yeah, right.
That's
What's
a
in?
hat.
Huh?
Isn't it
That's a
cute?
party hat.
Party hat.
Cool. Electronic party hat.
Not mine, but
It's a new thing on Zoom. You can make
It's
certain.
it's kind of a
you
small.
can?
It's kind of a small hat. It seems like
I have a big hand, so
that's what it is. It's the proportions. Proportions are everything. I don't know how we're going to do the contest, but I've got 3 questions I can ask
Uh-oh.
Oh,
after we're done with the program.
okay.
Kind of a review questions.
Oh, they're just for the members, though, right?
Yeah,
Not for the wife.
I'm out in the ocean.
Patty's out in the ocean.
there you go. Except you guys are disappearing now.
I know,
It's supposed to
great.
key on your face.
Oh,
So as long as your
I
face
know
is in there, it should show you.
yeah,
Did you do that?
that's right. Come on, man.
Patty, pull up a chair.
Patty, yeah, pull up a chair.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oops, not that one.
How do you leave it there?
I can leave it there. Or when you start
Where were
talking.
you standing? You were standing over there? No, you
How
have to
did how
do
you
it on
do
the other
that
side
already?
because the camera is
Well,
pointing
you're
this
right
way.
like that in the middle.
Well, I'm going to move it a little bit when you come over here.
Oh, don't leave it there.
Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Come on.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. That's better.
This is what I
Is that
want
what
to
you
do.
want me to do?
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
Let's add a picture.
Are you gonna take the rest
Nope.
of it? No?
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Where
want
do you find those?
Yeah, right.
Where do you find those electronic add-ons?
Do what?
I think it's going to be if you go down to the bottom area. Hold on a second. Let me see what I.
Sam's coming. Sam, here, Sam.
There's Sam. Boy, he looks like he's got a wrong hat on. Uh-oh, he's doing his
doing
wardrobe.
something.
Yeah,
He's doing
he's
his
a Grinch.
wardrobe.
There we go. Does anybody know what that is
What?
behind me?
No, that's
That's a
our
res-
director at large who brings all the information and stuff each meeting and so forth.
Oh, I see.
That's DJ.
DJ's here.
Hi guys.
Oh,
So,
You have to admit, Zoom works pretty well, you know, when you
Good.
get right down to it.
Yeah, it does.
It works pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
Not
got
bad.
some neat features, and actually, as far as the timing goes, there's no delay. It seems like.
Yeah,
Not sure
that's
how they do that.
amazing. That's absolutely, the server's got to be darn fast, man. And they're doing it.
We can change it.
Yeah.
That's Bill Seymour. He's our guy that schedules the net meetings and all that.
Sammy, where are you, Sammy?
He disappeared. No, there he is. Yeah.
hey,
There's Sam's here.
you looks like an elf.
Sam came up, but he's an elf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't. I don't know. Can we do music on Zoom?
I can
We could do music on Zoom. I'm actually doing a live stream on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of precludes from doing any kind of copyrighted music.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what they allow and don't allow.
Zoom.
They don't. It's not an issue with Zoom.
No.
Is that
As
right?
long, yeah, no, I don't. It would be an
It's
issue.
just copyright protection.
Well, they don't. It's not something. It's not broadcast. It's not. It's just private.
Yeah,
So
it's a private meeting.
so
yeah.
it's not a big deal. It's not going to be something that they care about. There are plenty of other services besides YouTube where you could share copyrighted content.
Yeah, yeah.
Sad. I mean, they're kind of the exception. They're not the rule when it comes to allowing that stuff.
See, Bill is having trouble.
For sure, because
I know.
who's that new guy there?
Well, it's blackout.
Yeah, Bill's trying to come up. I don't know what it's with. He's either it's just too dark or something.
Newcomer. That's why.
We can't see Bill. He's just black.
Can't hear him either.
No, he looks like his audio's trying to connect. That's okay though. If he just wants to watch, he can watch. We don't have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Someone goes back and forth. Did you do that?
No, I guess it depends on who's talking more.
Oh.
Hey, Jeff,
What's for
does,
dinner?
you look pretty good with that stuff.
You think I like good, huh? Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good disguise.
Now, as soon as Ginger starts talking, it'll flip over to her.
I was sure that you were a reindeer when I first looked at that.
Yeah.
But he's not. Then look, where's the red one? Rudolph.
Yeah, where's
You
Rudolph?
need to have your nose light up.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff,
that's
Jeff,
true.
I
They should have the nose blinking red.
There you go.
Jeff, I wouldn't wear that color nose because have you ever heard of not Rudolph, but
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Dasher? Have you ever heard of Dasher, the
Dasher?
brown nose? Dasher,
Brad,
the
the brown nose.
brown-nosed reindeer. And why? He could run as fast as the rest of the reindeer, but he couldn't stop as
That's
fast.
fast. Okay, I think that's tame enough that YouTube's okay with it. So.
Yeah,
Oh, I like that. Oh, no, I don't like it.
All right.
well, no, the meeting doesn't start. The Christmas
It's not really a meeting. It's just going to be a presentation.
presentation, Christmas get-together doesn't start till 6. This is the
Oh, I see.
happy
This
hour.
is, yeah, we're kind of just waiting for people to come on board.
Yeah.
These
Um,
are the people that have been known to drink, but yet
I
not-
may have to go get a refreshment because for some reason this thing's already almost empty. I don't understand that, but
Oh, I like that a lot.
no, I'm okay. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take away the other stuff.
How is the audio on mine? Most of the time I wear headsets, but how is it?
It doesn't sound bad. You're not over modulated. A lot of times you sound too loud. You don't sound too loud now.
Okay. All right. Good.
It's
That
pretty
works.
good. Sam, we see Sam now. Oh, now we see Bill.
Hey, Bill,
How you doing, dude? Hey,
welcome.
hello, guys. Ready to learn about the original SPARC?
Yeah.
You're gonna get to learn about the original SPARC.
Was it really 1957?
Yep.
Wow.
Although I don't really have a lot of info until 1960, but
Now,
I got actually the info we do have. They do mention the start of the club and stuff, so that's why I'm very sure about the date.
Yeah. Good.
So
Do we have any members that go back there to that time frame?
Steve,
I don't think so.
Steve and Ron, MSS.
Yeah, those are the two oldest members, but I don't
Oh,
think they
I-
go back to 60.
good.
I don't think they go back that far. Either one of them. I don't know about Ron. I know, but he's not mentioned in any of the articles, so he doesn't count. Just kidding. The fact they mentioned, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say the first They didn't do Christmas parties. They had parties like that happened before field day, usually in May or June. The annual dinner party is what they called it.
Yeah.
And it's the first annual dinner party. There were 30 people in attendance, and that's members and XYLs,
I wonder
wives.
I wonder what the highest number of members has ever gotten in all this time.
That's a good question. Yeah, who knows? I think we probably hit that high
Seriously?
a couple. Yeah, because we had a lot of members in like
We were up
2017.
around 66. or
Yeah,
something.
Is that right? That much?
Over 70.
I thought we were as high as 68 at one time.
Maybe.
Really?
yeah,
Good.
Then
we
we
were
got
high.
70.
It plateaued recently. It's gone down now, I think. But
Why are we called XYLs?
okay, somebody
Yeah,
answer that question, please.
I wouldn't touch that one. I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole. That is not the one you really want to respond to.
YL, the YL part means young lady. So feel good about that, okay?
Yeah.
The X just means you're married to them. So
No, the X means you're
Means
not
something
young
like-
anymore.
no, that's not what it means.
Hey, Randy.
Because you can have YLs and you have XYLs.
I like
XYLs
that.
are married.
Howdy, Randy.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, Sam. Howdy ho.
So Randy, do you know the question of that? Where did XYL come from? Do you, have an
that?
idea? Do you know where XYL came from?
I haven't a clue.
And we'll-
What? Randy,
I'm
you're
sorry.
silly, Randy.
I plead the fifth.
There's Randy down there.
On your
Hi,
head.
Randy.
Oh, it's a unicorn.
That works.
Unicorn.
There you go. I like it, Jeff.
Oh, so far we're doing good. We got 12, hey?
That's
Or,
neat.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 9. Close enough.
Hey, Jeff, where were
He's
you
right there.
finding that?
No, he's got a background.
Uh,
I think I can put a background.
Down at the bottom where it says stop video, it's got that little up thing on the right-hand side. Click
Yeah.
on,
Click on that.
and then
I
click
could-
on,
you have a small picture?
choose virtual background.
Okay.
You know what I do?
I think that's what I did.
But I don't see all those things in there.
Well, and then see in the middle where you've got that kind of black
Sure.
thing that says none.
Yeah.
Okay, up above that,
No, it's
but
on.
you've got virtual backgrounds, and then on the right-hand side of that, you've got video filters.
Oh, see, now you must have some new version or something that I
Do
don't
I
have
click
installed.
video filters?
That's all I've got in there right now. It's just
And then
Yeah.
you'll see all those things.
Ah,
You got them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Aurora.
It's okay. I don't need them.
Like, oh, there it is.
I'm going to be
Okay.
sharing my screen most of the time.
Our backyard.
Now, I don't think mine supports it.
Okay.
Just in the backyard.
There we go. Now my background is the sun.
I decided I'd put on my big hat.
That's what
Ah,
Run,
Good.
Fun.
run.
Elephant. I want to see the people.
Oh, yeah. Let me just,
6, 7, 8,
Uh,
9. There's a lot more. I want to check in. It's a lot for you.
I haven't
I'm-
screened mine yet.
Mr. Higbee isn't here yet.
Hey, Randy. Randy,
Yeah.
do you have a heater and AC in your garage for that?
Yes, I actually do have a little heater, little space heater.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Show and tell. No, just kidding.
Right there.
How about air conditioning? How about air conditioning?
Oh,
Well, I do have a window
Oh, okay.
and I do have a fan.
Okay. Is a portion of your garage roped off?
Roped off.
Yeah,
Roped off?
this was a model home,
Oh, okay.
and I have a little room. It was like a 2.5 car garage, and that half of a garage
there you are.
they walled off into
When I see there's
Nice.
Ginger, everybody else is just gonna be, oh, well,
So it's all drywalled and
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
temporary thing.
So, Ron, you don't have a camera? Ron? I heard you a second ago. There he
Yeah, I
is.
do.
He
There
is.
it is.
There he is. Okay,
We
cool.
were taking photos here.
Oh,
Ah, Nice.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
cheers.
Cheers. What do I do? Look at this. Oh,
I'm holding off until I get my tea later.
yeah.
It's a good idea to pace yourself.
That's right.
Randy, you have such a long drive home. I wouldn't be drinking.
Yeah, I know.
You can say,
None of that.
Well, I have crawled from a garage before.
That's good.
You mean it's not connected to the house? Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, right.
oh,
He thought it was.
See it here.
It just didn't have to be my garage.
Okay.
I'm taking a photo of Ron partying with his club.
All right.
That's
Okay,
pretty funny.
yeah, well, have a
Wait.
good evening.
Whoa.
Happy New Year, too.
Hey, Mike.
everybody.
What, Mike?
Happy New Year! Merry Christmas!
Thanks. Yeah.
Only we're gonna have another. At least we're gonna have another Wednesday check-ins before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's going down.
Oh, my hat's hot already.
I don't think there's any. It's not a holiday.
Hey,
think it's
Flip,
my
isn't it
birthday,
a little
as a matter of
cold to
fact.
be in your backyard?
I'm sorry?
Isn't it a little cold to be sitting out on the patio?
Yeah, but I got this burner that I'm sitting on.
It's actually lighting up the whole yard.
Yeah, right.
I see his antennas right between you guys. That's very clever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
My
Yeah.
antenna is right in
Right
between.
there, right in between.
Yeah.
It's like right on his
everybody's
shoulder.
there.
Right on his shoulder.
I see that. Boy, that's
Flip, I was gonna tell you,
Clever.
with all those, the winds that were coming through, really hard.
Yeah,
It buzzed that antenna a bit, nothing.
seriously.
Yeah, I'd go out there and I'd look and it just, maybe top part would, go over a
Yeah.
little bit, and then it's straight back up again, no problem.
All right.
Mine
Right.
fell over once.
I
You
know.
had Ginger to go out and hold it for you.
Right.
Happened, honey.
Oh, there's Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How you doing, man? Merry Christmas.
I might.
Mike.
He doesn't need a virtual hat. He's got a real one.
Yeah, this is not a virtual hat.
Jeff's got or I should say Ginger has a virtual hat on. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, that's good. Looks like flaming hair there.
Hey, Cliff,
Yes, yes.
it looks like it's bright and sunny out where you live in Sun Lakes.
that
It
picture,
is.
that picture was taken before, Mike, before they did the what do you call it? The landscaping by putting the rocks and the
desert.
plants, the
The
desert
desert.
scape.
Oh.
And this is the pre-desert scape picture. Now there's rocks in the back and a river flowing and everything else. So, what can you do?
Gotcha.
We're in a different time zone. It's still noon.
I was gonna say they landscaped it desert wise. What they do? Shut the water off?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what they were. Yeah, what they were trying to do is save on water, but I'm not sure it's going to save a whole lot because it increases the maintenance and the
Yeah.
landscape keeping and all this stuff. So who knows?
I thought to water all those plants.
Yeah,
Does it smell? Can you smell it? Because I know when they're using recycled water,
no,
sometimes you
no,
can really smell it. It smells like chlorine or
smelled
something.
anything.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
what I'm smelling out the picture.
You mean you
I mean,
now
I've
have to
smelled
smell
it before, where where I've been told somebody, like I said, what's that smell? And it's like, oh yeah, we use recycled water in our sprinkler. It's like, oh, okay.
I'll tell you what is crazy. At 5:30 in the morning, when it's still dark out, these guys are out mowing the lawn with their tractors with the headlights on. And I'm going, holy cow! How can you see what you're doing?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Supposed to be here till 7:30.
Well, she's talking about the Sun Lakes one.
Yeah, they might run over a critter or something. Why are they out there in
Yeah,
the
really.
dark? That's
That's
dumb.
true. That's true.
Yeah, he's saying 5:30.
There's plenty of critters around. That's for
There
sure.
are lots of critters.
Oh man.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Steve's here. Good. Steve's here.
Loose Nichols.
Well, we won't call you Janet, even though that's what it says on your
we
screen.
see half of your head.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to
Jess?
set up the noise level here.
Okay. We don't have to see you, so it's okay. Most of it's going to be me sharing my screen. That's going to be most of the presentation. Okay, you and Mike have just switched positions. Congratulations, Steve. You've moved up one notch thanks to Mike bopping in and out.
Is it highlighting?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, let me mute myself here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
I'll give you a little piece of information. Patty works at the Coachella Valley Economic Partnership down in Palm Springs, down in the Coachella Valley.
Nice.
And they got, get this, they got a donation from, I think, the state or whatever it was.
Yeah, emergency.
For how many?
$1.4 million.
$1.4 million. Didn't cost a dime.
PPEs.
For masks, shields,
And
gloves,
sanitizer.
and hand sanitizer.
My goodness.
Oh, Flip, it cost us.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
It's coming around.
It cost somebody, that's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean,
What comes around goes around. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
They backed in semis with forklifts to bring it off on pallets. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
And then they distributed it to all the 9 cities down in the Coachella Valley.
for their
So,
businesses.
for their
Yeah.
businesses and stuff. So
And we were on the news.
Yeah.
We were on the local news.
yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
It wouldn't be bad to be in the mask business right now, would it?
I
Hey,
guess. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot available.
I
at this
just want
point.
to. Can the real Sam raise his hand?
Oh, we got more than one Sam. Is he doing that again? Playing,
That's the two.
Yeah, that's too sad.
being Sam and plus Sam.
That's Yosemite. And,
I only see one Sam. I'll be honest.
well,
maybe it's me.
it was the critter next to him, is what I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I see what you're talking about. You mean Santa Sam?
Yeah.
Sam, is that your member, your prospective member of the club?
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
It was
He's
somehow.
going to
I
join us
saw
for
him-
dinner tonight at our
I had-
annual dinner meeting.
I saw that sitting on the table out in the living room, and I thought, oh, that'd be good for the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
If you notice, I'm wearing my Santa hat.
That's a nice one. I have my SPARC hat, but I'm not going to put it
Yeah.
on. It's
You can't-
uncomfortable.
We can't see that you have a hat on.
I don't have it on.
That's why I don't want to blind everybody.
Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
camouflage. It's camouflage. We can't see it.
Change
Yeah,
your lighting
that's
so
true.
so it doesn't come from up top, and you're okay.
One more one.
So Dave, for some reason, this is the first time I've had this happen where it's saying my network bandwidth is low and unstable.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you. Have you talked to Spectrum since you probably got that notice about them, changing the service for starting in? That's actually next month or this month.
No,
They should be giving you 200 megabits down now, and 20 megabits up or something, which is pretty
Well,
good.
no.
It's a lot better than the standard.
Let me tell you what it is. It's always been 100 megabit for a long time.
Yeah,
And I have their modem and router combined here.
right,
okay?
right.
And then I had
That's
one of
most
my,
what they give away.
and then I had one of my older routers in between that because I was just too lazy to change it. So the cable guy came out and was doing something with my second television, and he says, well, let me look up something on your computer. And he goes, why are you only getting 100? I was like, okay, let me take the router out. I take the router out and do a test.
Yeah.
I'm getting 200 megabits.
Right. See, that's because your router had a 100 megabit Ethernet connection.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly
So it
right.
was being limited by the speed of the internet,
Exactly.
the
But
network. Yeah.
The point I'm making after reading the memo from
Yeah.
Sun Lakes, it's 200 megabits, and I've seen it, and it's 12 megabits up. It's 200 down.
Right.
And then it starts January 1, so the first billing cycle will be at the end of January.
Yeah.
Which should be great.
So it should be automatic, except your equipment may or may not support it. That's basically what it
Correct.
comes down to.
Correct.
And that's why I mentioned it to Mike, just so you know.
And Mike, also there's one more piece. It's you get 2 free DVRs and 1 more box for nothing.
Yeah, that's true too. That's
Which is
right.
cool.
That is very cool.
Mike, it's free.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's free. It's free.
It's
free.
You
Yeah,
know it's free?
Randy, I love your definition of free. Yeah.
My brother destroys the remote control, so it'll be nice to have an extra one hanging around anyway.
Yeah.
It's like he just has
Hey, Larry,
battle.
it's foggy down by
Well,
you.
it does
Well, Larry.
appear though that
Janice,
I'm sorry?
the network speed, I think, varies from time to time during the day because
Yeah,
in the morning, I have absolutely no problem with the Zoom meeting.
yeah, yeah.
It
SPARC.
depends on how many people are on it in your area.
That's
Correct.
it's more about Spectrum in your case because I'm actually not using Spectrum. I'm using Frontier, and it's really really fast. I mean, quick.
Well, I can-
I'm going to really have a hard time deciding to dump it, but I'm probably going to have to. I can't afford to have both.
Mike, I can give you some input on that. The cable company Spectrum came out, and I was losing random channels on the TV, and also getting tearing and freezing on my internet a while back. The guy came out and he said, "Oh yeah, we've seen this before." He ran a new cable from the outside box to the house. Everything went away. It was fantastic.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Because actually, I had to have mine replaced. Our houses are the oldest ones in the area, in Sun Lakes,
Yeah.
and they wired them with the really poor
Yes.
RG58 cable.
Yeah, cheap stuff.
The cheap stuff, yeah. And when we first tried to get high def TV, it didn't work right.
Yeah.
And they charged us like $70 or something. The guy came out and he ran a new wire inside the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they didn't charge me anything. It wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, but if it's to the house, then it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
If it's
yeah.
inside the house, it's your responsibility.
Right.
Larry, we can't hear you if you can hear us.
Oh, and I'm glad Ed's here. Thanks, Ed, for showing
And
up.
it
Yeah,
showed up.
welcome guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
D2, howdy.
LD2.
Don't know.
Oops. Yeah, my two didn't come out right.
I guess I'm all right.
Had the shift key down.
Oops.
LD at and percent.
Glenn comes into LD2 and then.
Well, he's not really LD2, okay? So stop saying that because you're going to find out who the real LD1 is today.
Yeah.
Tonight. Tonight you will find out who the true original lame duck.
So you're going to shake up the order. Huh?
Shake up the
Well,
order.
who was? Hey, Dave. Who was? Sam is number 3. Who was number 2? Mike.
Nope,
No, it's, who was between?
I'm number one.
Okay, Mike was number 1.
Mike's number 1, yeah.
And who's number
Ed.
2? Is that
Ed, I think.
that was
isn't it?
Ed, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Ed.
was number
Number
two.
two.
Ed.
Ed was
Yeah,
number
at the,
two.
yeah.
Oh, Ed was number 2.
Ed was
Okay,
two.
hi Ed. Yep.
All right. And I was vice president when Ed was president. That much I remember.
And that makes Dave number 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are counting from the wrong place, so it's
But
all
he
kind of
ain't
suspect at
LD
this
yet.
point. From what I've read, you're going to learn tonight. There have been other presidents, okay? Believe
Yeah,
it. No,
that's true.
I know, I'm just teasing.
That's true.
I'm teasing.
Oh, yeah.
It's our own inside joke, and back then they would have said, "What do you mean, lame duck? What does that mean?" And it doesn't mean anything anyway. I mean, it's what it means. We don't. We have our own definition anyway. Oh, there we go. There we
LD
go.
cup there. Lame duck cup.
That's what started it all.
I'm gonna change
Okay.
that if that's the case.
Well, that's
Excellent. Wow.
Will you quit moving around, Mike?
Yeah, people keep switching places. That's not fair.
Oh, yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Confused.
Um,
This glass of wine.
They're like, it's like,
Hey Dave.
Yeah.
Hey Dave.
Yeah. Mike.
Hey Dave.
I recognize your voice. Mike, yes.
Do you have to keep when I get knocked up? When I get knocked off, do you have to keep admitting me back in?
No. You get automatically accepted. Don't worry about that. But if I'm doing the presentation or something, you might make sure you're muted.
No,
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
Larry,
how it works.
This is another member. Yeah, but I don't know why it's
Kind of looks like you're freezing periodically.
yeah.
I hate to say this, Mike, but it's more likely your computer's getting a Windows update than
Yeah.
it's a internet problem. But Are you using Wi-Fi or are you hardwired? Yeah, see, there he goes.
He's gone.
He just comes and goes, but that's okay. It won't affect the presentation. So.
Yeah, that was my problem with Wi-Fi. It was doing the same thing. I had to hardwire.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is kind of dubious almost all the time. Although they have a new Wi-Fi. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Something.
Yeah, I was looking into it. They're just real proud of it.
It's very expensive, but it's supposed to work a lot better.
I think Larry's frozen.
Larry
Yeah.
looks. Larry
Either that or Larry's in a bar and it's very smoky in there.
I noticed it's like he needs to clean his lens or something. I think that was last time too. Oh, Larry's in and out.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Larry's
He's
out.
coming.
Oh, he's at the bottom. He's at the bottom.
Oh, he's-
Mike is back though.
He's probably on Wi-Fi too.
Yeah.
Mike, are you real there or are you frozen?
He's frozen.
Mike looks no.
Well, maybe
I
not.
think I saw him blink. Mike, are you there?
I don't. It's a gal that.
He has his hearing aid
Well,
turned
she'll
off.
be there. She'll be there.
It's almost 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start this up.
There, Mike turned his head.
He's
Mike's
alive.
there. Okay, cool. Okay, we're going to dispense with any I don't know, it's not really a club meeting, it's just a party. So we don't have to worry about any kneeling or pledge of allegiance or anything like that. We'll go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. It's almost 6 o'clock. I guess I'll wait.
It's about 2 minutes till.
Yeah, I got about a minute 15
Yeah,
seconds.
give me a second. That way I can break out my.
So you got a minute and 15 seconds. This is your warning. This is your warning. 1 minute, 15 seconds.
No. Well, no.
Larry's on twice.
Well, as long as one of the two work, it's okay.
That's a good point.
I don't see him twice.
Cell phone on one of them or something.
One of them is uppercase Larry and one of them is lowercase Larry.
Yeah.
All of us are going to see twice if we keep on drinking.
I'm trying to limit myself because I have to read stuff. Okay.
Mike, are you still there, or are you frozen? Really, seriously?
Frozen. He's frozen.
I think he's frozen.
She said he's frozen.
He's gonna crumple in just a minute. He's just gonna go.
He's going to have Spectrum out tomorrow. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I saw him move his head a second.
I think I see him blink. I see him blinking all the time, so maybe he is alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
Mike's there. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and commence this party. It is 1800, it looks like, according to my watch. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if I can figure out how to do so. Here it is, share screen. Just me. Let's make sure I share the right screen, the left screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. So this moves them, you guys, over here. Do you guys see the old truck? The old broken down car? Cool.
Oh yeah,
All right.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
That looks like Bodie. Am I
This is
correct?
my new desktop screensaver thing I actually downloaded from Microsoft. It's kind of cool. It actually has, you can go to the next one just by right clicking. It has a bunch of different ones. It's kind of neat. I like it.
Oh look, Mike and Frank.
Anyway.
American Pickers are there.
All right, so this is an illustration I'm going to mention here. This is an illustration. Albert Sparks was a SPARC club member.
Huh.
And I'm going to show this article first, even though it's kind of out of order, a little bit, because it just kind of shows you what it was like back in 1960. This is actually from September of 1960. And back then, newspapers, they'd actually show you things like somebody goes on vacation, somebody has relatives in from out of town, crazy stuff like that. local newspapers. That's what we had here in Banning with the Daily Record. So Albert Sparks is actually a SPARC member. Just so you know, that's pretty clever, huh? Sparks and Spark. Anyway, Albert Sparks went to Missouri on vacation, and he visited his relatives. Okay, so they even mentioned his address here, so everybody knows where to go to rob him while he's on vacation. 290 East Theodore in Banning, visited relatives and friends on their vacation in Missouri. Okay, I guess they came back. They're back already, so it's okay. Their mothers, Fred Hurtle and Mr. and Mrs. E.R. Sparks, both live in Sullivan, Missouri. Other relatives and friends were visited in Jefferson City and in Kansas City. Mrs. Sparks and the camera enthusiast Marceline Sparks, who Mr. Sparks. Okay, this is a typical. By the way, you've heard of fake news. This is mistake news. This is like there are so many mistakes in all these articles. It's Mr. Sparks is a camera enthusiast, I believe. Anyway, okay, I'm wrong. Mrs. Sparks is a camera enthusiast. Marceline Sparks, that's her name. I'm going to call her Marcy because I hate saying Marceline. Who worked at the McCullough studio and is active in the Grayback Camera Club. Sparks is employed with the Tom Pierce Plumbing Company, that's Mr. Sparks, and is active in the SPARC Ham Radio Club. Okay, so I thought this is a great illustration of what the kind of stuff that was in the local paper back in 1960. Okay, and now you've been introduced to Mr. and Mrs. Sparks. Pretty weird, huh? Okay, I'm going to move on from this, and we're going to go look at the...
Yeah, that was Banning's Daily Record.
Yeah, that's Banning's Daily Record.
Okay.
Now, once upon a time... okay, I'm going to mute you guys that are making noise. I'm not sure who it is.
Why did it? Yeah.
I'm afraid it's...
I think it's Larry.
I think it's Larry. Sorry, Larry. You may be on twice or something because you're feeding back. Let me get more. Okay. I gotta make it so I can see everybody. There we go. Now I can see who's making the noise. All right. So I'm gonna ask questions later. So hold off the questions. I'm gonna ask. I'll mention yes. Who's that?
I knew Al Sparks.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I knew Marcy, and that's how she did. She went by Marcy.
Okay, good.
They lived not very far from where I live right now.
Wow.
And
okay.
I was given his Hammerland HQ 170.
Oh, okay.
Jerry Maple has his transmitter, and Jerry is 86 UE. He's not active, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to discuss it in a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just roll on this for a little bit more here, and then we'll discuss. So I'm showing a picture here of McCullough Studio. This is where Marcy worked, actually. And he worked... who's making the noise? It's Larry again. Sorry, Larry. Meet you. Okay. So he worked in... McCullough, his name is Leonard, he went by Len, by the way, had a studio, and he also did all the photography for the local newspaper. And he also sold camera equipment. And this is actually a later picture. This is from, as you can kind of tell by the car, probably the early mid-'70s. But it does show the ham radio equipment, or the antennas, on top of his studio. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought that was why this is a pretty interesting picture. And this is another photograph from Leonard from early Banning. I was intrigued by this one because, boy, that Safeway was really popular. My goodness. You can kind of tell that this is just south of Ramsey, along there in front of the Bank of America.
It's an antique place now.
Yeah, this is what this kind of became, but it became the department store, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. But in any case, I thought it was really interesting seeing these old cars. He also took pictures here of what they call the Banning Plunge. Do you remember this, Steve? I'm going to say yes, you probably did. This is the community swimming pool. And this is actually a picture from the 50s. Yeah.
That was on East Ramsey, and I went there one time. It had an island in the middle.
Okay. I like these pictures. You know, these were from the McCullough collection. This is what the guy looked like.
That's early Leonard.
Yeah, that's in the 40s. It says 1940s, okay? And they actually do. I have another picture of him from later on, too.
He was also big in the Lions Club throughout California.
Right. He passed away in 95. I found his obituary.
By the way.
Yes.
We're
going to start in on the newspapers, okay? So,
may I comment?
So Larry's talking. Everybody's talking. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Janet. Go ahead, Steve.
I have a 1964 Press Enterprise, and it ran the same stories about local people.
Right.
Same kind of thing that we don't exist anymore.
Right.
And
no, I've got
totally different paper.
Yeah, I know it is completely different. You're right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm showing these in pretty much the order that I found. This is a paper from Palm Springs. This is the Desert Sun from October 1958. Okay, and this is the very first printed mention of our radio club that I found. Okay, so basically this is begging people to come out and check us out, all right? And I'll read this. It says, Resort Area Amateur Radio Fans invited to PASS meeting. Resort Area Amateur Radio Fans are today invited to attend the next meeting of the San Gorgonio Pass Amateur Radio Club. The Pass Hams will meet at 8 p.m. on October 13th in the basement of the old Beaumont High School, 700 Magnolia Avenue. Featured speaker for the event is William Bard, whose call letters are W6VIX of Ontario. Bard is past president and organizer of the San Bernardino Microwave Society. Club officers are also said that they will soon announce a schedule of new novice classes on code and theory. The classes are held once a week and are free of charge. Anyone interested in attending the radio classes may contact Ray Sonsonetti, and then it gives his actual address, which is crazy. You would think he'd maybe have a phone. In any case, I give Ray extra credits here. Ray Sonsonetti is an old he's a member that just keeps popping up. So he's actually putting himself out there as a contact for the club. He may have been president in '58. I don't actually have that information for sure.
Bill Bird, or his son, was a member of our club. I remember that name, B-A-I-R-D. Him and a woman. I don't know if that was his wife or a daughter or something, but they were members of our club a few years back.
Is that right? Well, William Bird was the guy that came from Ontario to talk.
Huh.
So it's probably just a similar name. It's just the same name, probably.
So I have a question, Dave.
Yeah.
It says in the last line, Vinland Avenue in Beaumont.
Yeah.
Vinland Avenue is now in Cherry Valley.
Is that true? That's probably true. I don't know.
It is.
That's correct.
And when did they split it off?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vineland is in Cherry Valley.
It is.
Yeah, it runs east to west.
Right.
Okay, so there's there's basically a lack of anything I could find about SPARC until 1960. After this.
And there is a ham living on Vineland, and he has a big beam up there. I don't know who it is though.
Okay, so let me go back here, see if I can find our part. Here we are. No, here we are. See, it's highlighted for me.
Radio club over there.
So here we are. Okay, so this was our first dinner meeting. It says it right in the article. And so I'm going to read it. Let me see. I'm going to make this so I can actually read it. There we go. It's not long. Okay. Pass Radio Club host guest at dinner meet. The first dinner meeting of the San Gorgonio Pass Amateur Radio Club was held at the Octagon Cafe in Banning on Monday evening with guest speakers from San Bernardino showing color slides of the ocean's depth. Okay, the conquest of inner space was the topic and talk. The illustrations on oceanography given by Lieutenant Commander Carlson and Radioman First Class Brown. They showed pictures of research that is being conducted by the Navy and by private foundations. 30 hams and XYLs, in quotes, wives, in parentheses, attended from the past area, Palm Springs and Cathedral City. Okay, so they had people coming from Palm Springs and Cathedral City as well. Plans for a field day at Yucca Valley to be held at the James Henderson Homestead on June 25th and 26th were discussed. President George Hall conducted the meeting and introduced Chairman Don Wyman and his committee of Paul Eads, James Henderson, and Mr. and Mrs. Al Sparks.
So, Steve, where was the Octagon restaurant?
Hold on, I have Steve muted probably.
I don't think he heard it.
No.
Steve, are you there? Okay, I'm trying to get you back.
Unmute. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, where was do you remember the Octagon?
Oh yeah, it's the City Hall is located where the Octagon
was.
is, and it was.
Okay.
But you're talking about George Hall in 1964. His family and our family took a trip from Page, Arizona, up Lake Powell to I believe Hall's Crossing. We had to carry all of our fuel. Our maximum speed was about 9 knots for the trip in our respective boats. But George had a nightly schedule. He set up his radio and talked with a gentleman named Carroll McQueen, who ran the Edison plant up in the Banning Water Canyon. He was a ham.
Wow.
And they had their regular evening schedule, and so when we pull into camp, George would set up his wire antenna, and I believe he was running 40 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
This is the first. They mentioned this as being their first dinner meeting, so apparently they didn't do it in previous years.
Hey, Dave?
Yes.
Dave,
yes.
At that time, was the Pass Radio Club about the only club around?
It sounds like it. It does sound like there was no.
Not
I think we
else.
definitely were before, like the one in the that exists now in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
What do they call that club? I can't remember already, but yeah, I can't think of it. Anyway, I'm sure we're the Desert Rats. I'm sure we predate the Desert Rats. I'm pretty sure about that. So you might notice that all the photos in all of these photos basically are from McCullough. That's why you never see him. That's why I showed him first, because he's always behind the camera. Anyway, let's move on because we have a lot more to cover. All right, real pictures. I don't know why my camera's going, or my alert's going off here. Okay, we have real pictures, and by Mr. McCall. And these two are actually. I'm going to start with this one. This is the homestead in Yucca Valley, where the very first, at least the first SPARC field day was performed. Okay, so they called it the homestead. I also see places, other mentions of it being called a cabin, but it's near Giant Rock apparently, which is some area south of Yucca Valley. That's what I was told. Hard to believe that we took the SPARC Club used their own vehicles. Well, I will read the article here. In fact, I actually rewrote this article because it's so hard to read that I had to make notes. So let me get the notes up here. I'm going to bring you guys down and bring my notes up.
As a side comment, look at the picture of the two pieces of gear on the left.
Yeah.
That's a Hammerland receiver and a Johnson Viking, I think, or a Valiant, one of the two.
Okay.
That was the King's cat's meow back then.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is interesting because you're going to find out right now that we didn't have to pay for that gear.
Is that right?
Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to read from the article, which is right here. Okay. A field day contest for ham radio operators was held in the desert area near Giant Rock recently when hams for the San Gorgonio Pass Amateur Radio Club, known as SPARC, spent a weekend at the Jim Henderson homestead. A transmitter and receiving set were put in the house and an antenna installed a week prior to the trial run when Ray Sansonetti and his crew went to the desert for the preliminary work. A large transmitter and receiving set were purchased through the joint efforts of the state of California and the city of Beaumont in the Civil Defense Program. The rest of the gear used by the club is the property of the individual members. Mobile equipment was carried in cars, and members had a truck furnished with the emergency power used used in the field day contest. 29 states, including Hawaii, were contacted during the weekend trial. This trial, so we're talking about here is mini field day. Just so you guys understand, this is not field day. This is their trial run. They made contacts with Canada, Puerto Rico, Cuba. Everyone wanted to ask, what's Castro doing? But there's no conversation in an operation of this sort put on at the desert meeting. The idea is to contact as many hams as possible in a given time. Taking part in the contest was Sansonetti. With Sansonetti were Lee Sayer, I believe, George Hall, president of the SPARC, Don Crawford, John Erzik, Paul Eads, Henderson, the host, Albert SPARC, Don Wyman, and Leonard McCullough. Okay, so that's what this part of it was. Oh no, I got more. Okay. The trial run was performed in the interest of civil defense and emergency help. Members of the local group of hams will provide communications for the September Stagecoach Days Parade. Another project in the planning is a setup of transmitter and receiving set at Repler Park, where people can get first-hand view of how SPARC operates. All right, so that's the entire article.
Right. Oh, that's
And now this is the picture of inside the homestead, and these guys are working this equipment.
You notice
As you
he's
can
working
see.
a straight key, Dave.
Yes, he's got a key. I don't know if it's a street key. It might even be a bug, but it's a key of some
It
sort.
looks like a straight key.
Okay, it could be. And he's got a microphone in the other hand. So he's dual. He's
Doing it all.
doing everything.
Dave,
Yeah. I'm sorry, who was that next? Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
Steve,
Yeah.
Giant Rock is actually north of Yucca Valley.
Oh, it's
and
north.
it is-
Okay.
It's north of Yucca Valley. It is it is kind of a mecca for UFO type.
Oh, wow.
You know, that sort of stuff.
So is that why Jim had his own house there? So because he was a UFO
whatever.
freak?
Anyway, and by the way, it was Lee Sauer. Is the guy's
Like
name.
Sour, I'm sorry, yes.
Lee
I knew I
Sauer.
pronounced it that
Sauer,
wrong.
yeah.
Okay, Sour.
Sauer is correct.
Thank you. Okay.
And, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and read the caption here just because this caption actually is correct. So let me make this a little bit smaller so we can see everything. Whoops, not that small. There we go. Okay, Jim Henderson. So this is Henderson. Albert Sparks. This is Sparks. Don Wyman. That's his Wyman leaning over. Listen as Marcy Sparks. This is Marcy. Takes down contacts, and Paul Eads, this is Paul, operates the receiving set. The big transmitter and receiver in the house were funded for civil defense, were furnished for civil defense by the state of California and the city of Beaumont. All other equipment belongs to the individual members of the club. Okay, so I love this. This is going to be one of my favorite pictures.
Holding in his hand, it's some kind of a handheld device.
Looks like a microphone.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking it was. And then this is a key.
Yeah.
No, I'm referring to the guy who's standing behind him.
Oh, this guy. He's got his hat in his hand.
No,
Oh, this guy. Oh, he's taking notes or something. I
The
don't know.
guy in the middle.
Yeah. I don't know what. I'm sorry. You're talking about Sparks. You're right. This is Al Sparks. I have no idea what he's got in his hand. I think he's taking notes, but I don't know. Maybe he's got some kind of a meter or something. Anyway, so we saw these parts here, but I'm going to show you this part up top. These are showing off the mobile units, and this is another case of mistake news. Remember I talked about mistake news. Because these pictures and captions are reversed. And it took me a little while to figure that out, and I was a little confused when I didn't really understand which club member was which. It really did confuse me by these being reversed like this. So this says Jim Henderson. This belongs here. Jim Henderson, the host at the Henderson Homestead near Giant Rock, where the contest was held, shows one of the mobile units. Okay, so this, like I say, the captions are reversed. And then this one over here is Albert Sparks, operating in the mobile equipment in his car. So you can tell Sparks because he's the tall guy with the glasses. And you could tell Henderson because he's always got a hat on because he's a baldy. All right. Okay, here we go. Then over here on the right, we got a really smiley Paul Eads, who is operating with Marcy Sparks behind him. Okay. Any comments, Mike or Steve? I'm going to move on. Oh, no, I'm not going to move on. We got one more. In fact, this is really interesting. There's so much stuff on just one page. Just one page. Okay, so here we discover, I'm going to read the caption. Hams have to eat. Around the table from left are Don Wyman, Bobby Eads, Paul Eads, Jim Henderson, Albert Sparks, Marcy Sparks, and Barbara McCullough. Okay, so this is the photographer's wife on the right. So, and I just pretty much determined that this is actually inside the homestead because you could tell by the walls and the lack of proper wall. So it's kind of like a cabin there, and they're just munching out. So it sounds like they were, in fact, somewhere else it mentioned, well, you'll see this picture come up again. Actually, it's not the exact same picture, but for some reason they used the same picture later that's slightly different. I'll show you. Anyway, so this is the last real Sparks thing on this page. I did notice that back in the day, you could get a couch and a chair for $129.95. I would order one right now because I know that these things would probably last 10 times longer than what I would pay 10 times more for now.
Yep.
Okay, just commentary there.
I'd like to ask Steve if this newspaper was a daily or a weekly.
That's a very good question. I think it's daily.
The retard gagette was at one time was a week. It was a daily. And yeah, it was a daily. By the way, Janet's out in the kitchen. She's been working out there. That's what I was helping her with some stuff. But are you recording this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, she wanted to know.
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube, and I'll have Jeff send out a link.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next page. Actually, this is from the same year, a little bit later, and I like this one because this, even though it's kind of trivial, again, this shows what was talked about in the paper. I'm going to mention first the one on the left here. The Hendersons entertained a dancing party. Mr. and Mrs. James Henderson of 101 Dale Street in Beaumont entertained at a dancing party on Friday evening at the family room, and the patio of their home. Mrs. Henderson used flowers and candles for the decor of the beautifully appointed serving table. The host recently completed a stereo music unit that was used for the recordings that furnished the music for the dancing. On the guest list were Mr. and Mrs. Al Bonham, Mr. and Mrs. James Vera, Mr. and Mrs. Henry LeBeau, Mr. and Mrs. Don Wyman, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Fuller, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Eads, Mr. and Mrs. Don Rosel, Mr. and Mrs. J. Conley, Mr. and Mrs. Rex Ring, and Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Weaver. A midnight snack, salad, ham, sandwiches, and coffee were served. By the host at the close of the evening. Okay. So I just thought that was hilarious. Right next to it, we have another club-related article. Don Wyman being another club member. Don Wyman is honored at birthday party. Don Wyman was honored guest at the occasion of his birthday Saturday when the James Henderson home on Dale Street in Beaumont was the scene of a family party. The Wyman family includes wife Betty and children, Steve, Susan, and Daryl. Others in the party were Mr. and Mrs. Paul Eds and children, Paula, Sue, and Bob. After the traditional birthday cake, ice cream, and coffee, the evening was spent viewing color slides of various outings and picnics the group had enjoyed during the past year. All right.
You know what, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, the population at that time in Banning had to be very, very small. So any kind of news had to make the news.
Absolutely. I thought it was really intriguing when I found these just because, here we have, party members attending, or club members attending club members' parties. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I just mentioned it. I just want to bring that one.
Haven't we lost something?
Yeah, I know, really. Okay, so here we go. Here's another one. Another one. It's like, how much do we really need to know? Albert Sparks to Missouri for vacation. Mr. and Mrs. Albert Sparks of 290 East Theodore in Banning visited relatives and friends on their vacation in Missouri. Their mother, Mrs. Fred Hurtle, and Mrs. E.R. Sparks both live in Sullivan, Missouri. Other relatives and friends were visited in Jefferson City and Kansas City. Mrs. Sparks is the camera enthusiast. Marcy Sparks, who works at the McCullough Studio and is active in the Grayback Camera Club. Sparks is employed with Tom Pierce Plumbing, so that Mr. Sparks, who's making the noise? Okay. So let's see. Okay, so this just kind of shows a connection here. This is really interesting. This is where I found out that Marcy works for the McCullough Studios. So we have one member, club member, working for another club member, and thought that was interesting. Okay, so that's really all we had here. If you want to buy sweet corn, 5 years or 29 cents. All right, let's go back. This is an interesting story about a 90-year-old fiddler who actually competed in the fiddling event. I read this article and discovered he died the next year. So anyway, he didn't win or anything, but he did compete. I thought that was interesting. Okay, let's go to the next page.
Now, who advertises in the paper that they're going on vacation and leaving their home?
They don't. This is a story, and it doesn't run until they're back. So
yeah, but Randy, that was back when there was honor.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I meant. There was trust in the community.
Now here we have. By the way, this is. Let me make sure I can read. I can't read my own. There he is. This is page 6 of the Saturday edition of the paper from 4th of April, 1961. And this whole page is kind of dedicated to the club, which is amazing. Pass Amateur Radio Club, one of the busiest around. And they got this recycled picture of Mr. Sparks in his car with his receiver transmitter set. And we also have a nice, interesting picture here of the club and all their radio gear that they had set up for field day, presumably.
1960.
Okay, so I'm going to read this article. Yeah, this is from 61, March 4th, 1961. Club members and equipment. Among the many activities of San Antonio Pass Amateur Radio Club was the field day, in which the club members tested range and capacity of their receivers and transmitters. Getting set to go on the air are, from left, Paul Eds, Bobby Eds, Don Wyman, Ray Sansonetti, Marcy Sparks, Al Sparks, and Don Crawford. All are past residents. Okay.
What's crazy about that is they don't show you the 4 18-wheelers that came in to bring the generators to power all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to. I'll show you one of the generators in a second. Yes.
Good question.
Yes.
How is EADS spelled? You mentioned EADS.
It's EADS. It's EADS, I guess. EADS. EADES, actually.
Okay.
Because they spell it two different ways.
Yeah, I went to school with Phyllis.
Oh, okay. Because they spell it. Yeah. They spelled it. I think the correct is with the E, but they spell it wrong all throughout the paper.
So it is. Well, it is. E. I believe it is E. Echo Alpha
Delta Echo Sierra.
Oh, by the way, Banning's population at about this time, I believe, was about 10,000.
Okay.
Beaumont's was about 5.
Wow.
Seriously, Banning was that big in 60?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Anyway, so this picture might look familiar. This is the homestead. Remember, they had the weird walls, and I'm sure this is the same place. I think they took these pictures right together. But I have. Let me bring up my cheat sheet here, and let me show you what I did. I put them right next to each other here. All right. So here we have the first one that was from 1960 paper, and this is the one from the 1961 paper. You can see that they have to be shot like one right after the other.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the Don Wyman is looking at the camera in this one, and this one he's not. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, they're definitely different shots. And also, you can tell that this one has better clarity. At least you can see the print on her dress. On this one, her dress is blown out, so it just looks white. And you can also see that underneath the table, and the one where it's blown out, you see more detail in the area where it's dark, and you see less detail in the area where it's dark here. So it's a question of overexposure versus maybe normal exposure. But I thought that was interesting. So I think I mentioned before the order of everybody here. And this one, I'll read the caption. Let me get this out of the way. On this one, time out. Belonging to the Pass Amateur Radio Club isn't all work. Club members sitting down for a bite to eat after a recent field day where from left, Don Wyman, Bobby Eds. Is that what you said was, Steve? Eds? Anyway. Paul Eds, Jim Henderson, Al Sparks, Marcy Sparks, and Barbara McCullough. All right. And it was here it talks about it being a potluck. So that's why I know that this is, everybody brought their food and everybody shared. It was a wonderful potluck. All right, let's move on. So here, did I go through these? I don't remember doing it.
You did.
Okay, we did. Okay. This is correctly noted as being Al Sparks on this one. But it says Pass Amateur Radio Club members don't limit themselves to ham sets inside buildings. Mobile units in their cars put them in touch with each other anytime they're on the road. Here, Al Spark puts out a call over his mobile LMAC transmitter and receiver. And you can see the receiver is the big box up above. The transmitter is the little box below it. So they're actually separate. They're separate devices. And he's got the microphone. You can kind of see the mic wire going down to the transmitter. I just thought that was interesting, that it actually mentioned the brand. I did a little bit of research on the receiver. I've got the manual if you want to see it. Okay, so it says see page 7 for more on local hams. So page 7 is my next. It's my next one here. I can't tell which one's highlighted now. Too many tabs. I've got too many tabs going on. I think I'm here. Yeah, here we are. Here's page 7. All right. So here we have a recycled picture, but here we have a new picture. And this is interesting because somebody was asking what powered the radios. You can only see the one guy here, but there are multiple chairs set up here all the way down the line. And this is just underexposed. And I would imagine there are several receiving sets on this table. This is the only guy that's in the sun. The rest of them are in the shade. We can't see him. So just know that he's not alone. Here is here's the power supply, the generator, and it looks like they've got a little feed here going to the gas can. This is where it's pulling the gas from. You got a 50 something Chevy on the left there and an old Ford on the right.
It's a 56 Chevy.
Yeah, 56 Chevy. Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of cool. This is I'm going to read now the underneath the picture here, the caption. It says, "Ready to go, a portable generator sits in the foreground while antennas for different wavelengths stretch into the sky at a field day by the Pass Amateur Radio Club under the protective tent. Club members prepare to go on the air with varied equipment. Here, they broadcast from the Mile High Ranch above Cherry Valley. On field days, they stay on the air for 24 consecutive hours. This club's equipment will be invaluable in case of civil defense emergency since it can be run by portable generator and doesn't depend on a conventional electric supply." All right, now you can see some of the antenna wires. I can't see all the antennas, but I just noticed that when you look carefully, you can see some of the antenna wires.
Back in those days, the cars were so big, there was a ton of room under the dash, you know.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. How does anybody fit in there when you have those
Oh
radios?
my gosh!
Jeez.
When Art Collins decided to make a mobile with his KWM2, they put that in the center of a car, you know, and you say,
Yeah.
"Wow, that fits pretty nice because there's so much room there." Try that today.
Yeah,
you know?
no way.
Yeah.
You definitely wouldn't fit. Anyway, so here we go with the same picture from 1960. So they just kind of recycled. But actually, they even mention this is not, they don't say when this is from. They just kind of mention it. So it basically just says Paul Eds. I'm terrible with that. Eads? No, I can't remember. Mans the microphone as members of the Pass Amateur Radio Club gather around for a broadcast from Jim Henderson's cabin near Yucca Valley. From left, they are Henderson, Al Sparks, Marcy Sparks, Don Wyman, and Eds. The club meets the second Monday of each month for regular sessions, while some club members are on hand at the clubhouse each Monday at 8 p.m. to check out civil defense equipment. So this has actually brought something new in that I didn't. I'm kind of guessing, but maybe they had a weekly meet at the clubhouse to test the equipment. Kind of sounds like. All right, so I thought that was interesting. So we scroll down here, we actually see right on here on his own, Jim Orcutt of Banning operates the 6-meter radio transmitter and receiver with portable microphone in his hand. He is a member of the Pass Amateur Radio Club. So there's Jim by himself. And then this is really interesting stuff here. So this is actually what you're looking at right here is the SPARC, described as the SPARC Clubhouse. All right, here we go. Mayor's, I'm going to show the picture again later here. I have to make it big to read it. Mayor views equipment. Mayor Aubrey Allen of Beaumont, second from right, is on hand for the inspection of the civil defense equipment at the Pass Amateur Radio Clubhouse in Beaumont. Allen is head of the civil defense in Beaumont. On hand for the inspection from left is Jim Henderson, Marcy Sparks, Don Wyman, Allen, and Jim Orcutt. So there we are. Henderson, Marcy Sparks, who is the first SPARC female amateur radio member of the club.
Hey, Dave, question.
Yes.
Way back then, wasn't civil defense part of cities and so forth, funded by cities, controlled by cities, and so forth?
They were, and apparently the equipment, the transfer and receiving equipment that they got for civil defense was provided by the state of California and the city of Beaumont.
Yeah.
So they both run it. So that's pretty neat stuff here.
Old age bill slows down.
Okay. Just what's playing at the Fox Theater in Banning.
Yeah, right.
Okay, is the Savage Innocented. Can't read that. Indecento.
Yeah.
Anyway, drama. Wow. Okay, the Naked Jungle is playing as well. Charlton Heston.
Are they dying up for the bit?
And there's also something called the Cherry Pass Drive-In. I'll bet you Steve remembers that.
Yeah, probably so.
Cherry Pass Drive-In. And so they had movies too. All right. Let's move on. We get to the next one. I can see, figure out where I'm at. Oh, there it is. Stop it. Oh, there we go. All right. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So again, this is the Daily Record, the local paper. Pass rate. This is okay. Now we're looking at 1962. This is June of 1962. Pass Radio Club will take part in Field Day. San Antonio Pass. The San Antonio Pass Amateur Radio Club will next weekend participate in the National Field Day for all ham radio operators in the 5th straight year. Objective is to see how many contacts can be made in 24 consecutive hours. For the 2nd straight year, the Pass Club of Amateur Radio Operators will gather on the Beacon Hill south of Beaumont, Mount David, for the occasion. Okay, so if you take 1st Street on Banning or Beaumont and you just keep going west, eventually you run into Mount David. It's actually called David Mountain Road now. Officers in charge of those and they're also a repeater, phone repeaters and stuff up there. Officers in charge will be those who look over Banning's. Officers in charge will be those who took over Banning's Octagon Cafe during the club's annual dinner last week. President Fred Brady, with his call letters W6MMX, Vice President Albert Sparks, W6VXK, Secretary Treasurer Marcy Sparks, W6WJA, Public Relations Ray Sansonetti, W6UEQ, and Don Wyman, W6WJO, and Publicity Chairman Leonard McCullough, WA6HFE. Last year, the club letters K6QYF, operating emergency power from atop Mount David, contacted 33 different states, 7 countries during the 24-hour field day period, while operating on 7 different bands, 80 meters, 40, 20, 15, 10, 6, and 2 meters. Approximately a dozen different club operators worked as continuously as possible from Saturday noon till Sunday noon. The 24-hour period for the club this year will start between noon Saturday and 2 p.m. I don't understand that, but it's okay. The field day is sponsored by the American Radio Relay League and the prime ham radio organization in the nation. 5 years ago, the Pass Area Club, which refers to itself as SPARC through the condensed use of its initials, entered the field day from the point up from a point up Idlewild Road. So this is really interesting stuff because they're actually giving us history. So they're saying 5 years ago, they did field day from Idlewild Road, from somewhere up Idlewild Road. The next year, they operated from Mile High Ranch above Cherry Valley. The following year, and we actually have, that's what the pictures were from that showed the generator, by the way. The following year, they relocated at Jim Henderson's cabin north of Yucca Valley. Before last year, settling upon Mount David in Beaumont, near Beaumont. Okay. So the annual meeting last week, speaker was Colonel Fred Elser, retired Signal Corps officer of Palm Springs, current call letters W6FB. He spoke from his some 40 years radio experience all over the world. All right. So, do you want to read about the 13 auto accidents in the past? Probably not. Some of these pictures are unfortunately unreadable. This is not the club, but we're going to come across a couple that really, unfortunately, newsprint just doesn't come across real well during the digitization process. It often looks pretty crummy. But that's basically what's on this page. Now we're going to move on. This is, get this so I can read it again. This is June of 62. Okay, so now this is July 62. This is amazing stuff here. Novice license to Mrs. Nada Jones. Blind woman becomes ham radio operator with Pass Amateur Radio Club. All right. I've heard this story before, and I don't know if it was Steve that told me, somebody else, but this is really interesting. I'm going to read the caption first. We've got, looks like radio gear, and the lady says, Mrs. Nada Jones, at her home on Fry Street in Banning, as she contacts faraway places. Recordings were used as part of the study that has led to getting a novice license as a ham radio operator. Okay, I'm going to read the copy now. A novice license as a ham radio operator is the prized possession of Mrs. Nada Jones of 336 North Fry in Banning. Plucky Mrs. Jones hasn't let blindness stand in the way of becoming part of SPARC, the San Gregorio Pass Amateur Radio Club. She is hold on. She is on her way to getting her general ham license. So, as we all, I don't know if you guys know this, but back then, you could not be a novice for very long. You were expected to get your general right away.
Yeah, that was 1 year.
Yeah, within a year.
Yep.
She is on her way to getting her general license when she's ready. When she's ready for the test, she and her husband, Paul M. Jones, will travel by bus to Los Angeles, where she will have a chance to meet the personnel at the LA office. It's all the more remarkable is Mr. Jones. This is a misprint, by the way. It says Mrs. Jones here, but this is another, what did I call it? Mistake news. Mr. Jones has impaired vision too. Okay. Distance and her blindness make it permissible to take a conditional test at her home, but she selects to get the general license with no special treatment. All right. Braille books on theory and have been used in the study. Ray Sansonetti, past president, local club member, and Albert Sparks, vice president, local hams, have helped in the coaching of Mrs. Jones and her tests. Recordings have been another help in the study carried on by the novice operator. Her general license will enable her to work in CW as well as phone, and when she receives it, she will be the second woman ham radio operator in the SPARC Club. Marcy Sparks now holds the distinction of being the very first the club's only woman ham operator, Amateur radio operation has been the interest of Mrs. Jones for quite some time, but actual study with the 5-year-old SPARC began just last year. So this picture is unreadable, but it reports to show members of the San Gregorio Pass Club have helped in Blind Mrs. Jones. Standing at left is Ray Sansonetti, and the right, Albert Sparks. Theory was studied by Braille. Here's a picture of Nana and her husband when they got their ticket.
Huh.
So they actually show their call signs. Kind of cool. I got it, says Mrs. Jones. And her husband apparently got it too. Something they don't mention in the article. Said to her husband, Paul M. Jones, as she holds up the novice license. She's almost ready to take her test for a general ham license. All right. Being the curious person I am, I did more research on this, and we're going to pop across that in a little bit. But we're going to move on at this point.
You know what? Just as a comment, Dave.
Yeah.
It's back then. There was obviously, as we all know, there was no internet, no email, nothing else. So there was a lot of focus on this in the world of communication, and so that's probably why it got so much coverage, not just in Banning, but other places also.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's just not covered hardly at all. You just don't see it.
I know. So this was amazing. All right, that's fine. This is July 62. So here is May. Fashion girls. Here we go. Pass Radio Club holds annual dinner meeting.
Pretty much, thanks.
So the San Gregorio Pass Amateur Radio Club held its annual dinner meeting. Again, this is May 1963 on Saturday in the Voyager Inn. Wow. Did they rename that restaurant, Steve? I'm just kidding. Don Wyman, president of the group, proceeded over the after-dinner meeting and introduced the evening speaker, Howard Shepard. So, wow, they had dinner and a speaker. Shepard, who lives in Los Angeles, has been a licensed radio operator since 1938. He is now a legal advisor to the Los Angeles Council on Radio Clubs, a director of Western Single Side Band, and director of Project Oscar. Oscar 3, which is the ham radio satellite that will soon be launched, was the subject of this talk. Oscar 3 will have a higher orbital pattern through the two previous shots, and will relay identifying signal that will be used by radio hams the world over. It is now being assembled in Sunnyvale, California. The door prize, donated by Mission Home Supplies, was won by Ray Sansonetti. All right. So there you go. All right, let's move on. Look at this so I can read it again. 1963 B. Yeah. All right. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Cub Scouts. But that's a different story. Pass Radio Club tours defense sector. I thought this was really interesting. Whoops, I'm pushing the wrong button. I got to make it bigger. There we go. Pass Radio Club tours defense sector. The San Gregorio Pass Radio Club toured the LAADS, Los Angeles Air Defense Sector, at Norton Air Force Base on Wednesday evening and received a clear picture of the warning system of 7 radar sites used for defense from the DEW line to Mexico, far out into the Pacific. Enjoying the informative tour were Ray Sansonetti, Ray Maxfield, Mr. and Mrs. Al Sparks, Jim Orcutt, Leonard McCullough, Mr. and Mrs. Don Wyman, Paul Eds, and Mr. and Mrs. Elva Kerr. Captain Winters, public relations officer of LADS, conducted the tour and answered many questions. Of particular interest was the Blue Room, in which is located the radar scopes which scan our skies. In the control room, the group sat at desks ordinarily used by colonels of the different branches of the service and watched a huge screen on which would be flashed in a large radar picture of oncoming enemy planes in case of an aggression. Slides were shown to give an overall picture of what the different sections of the building contain. The most important point was that the high-speed and complete communication systems used throughout the entire operation. All right. So this is 64 February, and the club toured the air defense sector in Los Angeles, I guess. Steve, you weren't there, right? I'm teasing Steve at this point. Okay. Let's move on. This was February 64. This is June 64. And here we are. Pass Radio Club installs at annual dinner. Okay, the San Antonio Pass Amateur Radio Club held its annual installation of the Rusty Lantern, June 1st. We've been there before. With incoming President Ray Cincinnati presiding. Retiring President Ron Wyman introduced the new slate of officers. Ray Cincinnati, President, Albert Sparks, Vice President, Marcy Sparks, Secretary-Treasurer, and Leonard McCullough, Publicity. A resume of the past year's projects and accomplishments was also given. Plans for a field day to be held this weekend at Mount David were discussed. Round-the-clock monitoring of the bands will be handled by the club in conjunction with the rest of the hams in the nation. Door prizes were won by Paul Eds and Mr. and Mrs. James Henderson, all of whom were sitting in the same lucky table. Oh, the old lucky table giveaway. You gotta love that. Radio Club meets every second Tuesday of the month at the clubhouse behind the American Legion's Hall on Wellwood in Beaumont. Wellwood in Beaumont. Any interested persons is invited to attend. So here they got a picture of the incoming and outgoing president shaking hands. Signing off, Don Wyman, right, retiring Cincinnati at installation ceremonies held President of the San Antonio Pass Amateur. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. It's so hard to read I'm trying to read across. That's not the way it works. Don Wyman, right, retiring President of the San Antonio Pass Radio Club, congratulates his successor, Ray Cincinnati, at installation ceremonies held recently. Okay, got that right. McCullough photo. Surprise, surprise.
I'd like to point out that in those days, people dressed up in suits and ties when they to an annual dinner.
They sure did.
And also, apparently, they changed from Monday nights to Tuesday nights for their club meetings.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yeah. And this is actually their annual dinner, but they're talking about their club meetings, yes. And it's interesting because that's actually a place that probably still exists, huh? The club behind the American Legion Hall.
Steve, do you have any input on the Rusty Lantern?
Oh, we used to eat there. We had our meeting there once when I was in the club in 2012 or something.
Hey, Dave, is there a paper in Banning right now, a daily paper?
No, well, there's the there's the Record Gazette, I think they call it.
The Record Gazette. Yeah. It's nicknamed. We used to call it. I worked as a photographer for them back in the late '60s.
Wow.
My brother was before me, but I learned that when you're doing a newspaper photography and printing for the paper, it's not the same as printing for yourself because you have what's called a dot structure.
Right.
The dot structure had to be detailed. Otherwise, you had a crummy picture.
Right.
It would be washed out. So, it worked out. I'd be back to square one. As far as the restaurant, the Rusty, I remember it. It is now the location was taken over, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago by became a Chinese restaurant, kind of a buffet line. And I think
Wasn't
it
the
is-
Rusty Lantern the one in Beaumont on Beaumont Avenue?
It was on Beaumont on 6th Street. Yes.
Yeah, on
And
Beaumont
that's-
Avenue.
Yeah, and it's no,
No.
it was
That
it's
wasn't-
right near Marla's.
Maybe they came back as the Rusty Lantern
Well,
later or
they
something.
redid it.
Oh, I'm
into-
sorry. I'm confused. You're right. The one on 6. I'm confusing it with the other one.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
I'm-
Steve.
It's
I
east
have
of. It was located east of what is now Marla's.
Right. It's very close to Marlow. It turned into a Chinese restaurant. You're right.
Now it's
yeah.
a Buddhist temple.
Yeah.
Is that the one called the Wall?
My parents had their 50th wedding anniversary there.
Oh golly, yeah.
So I do know the place. That's a long time ago. All right, so let's move on. And this was this was June of '64. So we're going to go to we're skipping forward to December 13th, 1965. And the reason I clipped this one, even though you can't read, you can't see this very well, this is more news about our friend, Nada Jones. So this is not having to do with the club, but the Lions apparently gave her a Braille writing machine. So I'll read the article. It says, Jack Washburn, chairman of the Sight Conversion and Blind Committee for the Banning Lions Club, is pictured as he presented a Perkins Brailer to Mrs. Nada Jones of Banning. Part of the proceeds from the October White Cane fund drive were used to purchase the machine. Mrs. Jones and her husband are both blind. She is a ham operator and plans to use the Braille typewriter for making notes when she is using her shortwave equipment and communicate with other blind people. She would also like to use the typewriter to transcribe manuscripts as a service for the blind. So, even though you can't see the picture, this proves she got her general, okay? All right, let's move on. 65.
And I believe there's a elementary school on Wellwood there now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is pretty much the near the end here, but we'll start talking and we'll talk some more. But this is a pretty important one. This is from 1969, believe it or not, and as you see, many of our the original hams are in attendance. So this is really interesting stuff. It says here, the members of the San Antonio Pass Amateur Radio Club are making plans to participate in the simulated emergency test Saturday and Sunday. During the simulated earthquake, the operators will send messages to the state emergency coordinator and the civil defense radio officer, both in Sacramento. This practice test by the amateur operators all over the country is held annually. Pictures above: George Hall, George Orcott, Don Wyman, Ray Sansonetti, and Jim Henderson. Also participating in the local group will be Albert Sparks, Leonard McCullough, John Ratz, Chris Reinmuller, Banning and Beaumont City managers Robert Schoburn and William Krause. Also to serve as civil defense directors have agreed to cooperate, who also serve as civil defense directors, have agreed to cooperate with the practice. Other past residents who would like to participate may receive further information and instructions from Orcutt and it gives his phone number. So there you go. They actually used phones by 1969 instead of addresses to find people. All right, now this, I kind of lied to you. I said this is the last page, but it's not really the last page because, during my search, I kept coming up with some of the more modern stuff, and most of it's not very interesting, but it goes through, it's interesting only because it maybe mentions the different places that we met together as a club through the years. But it's all the places that I think everybody knows about.
Dave?
Yes.
Uh, go down a little bit there. There's go back down.
Yeah.
More.
More.
Yeah. There was an article there on Commander Booker from the Pueblo. It's there someplace. Go back up. Oh, here. Okay, stay right there. Are you still there, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, see the article right there, late news bulletins, Coronado, California.
Here it is. Commander Lloyd M. Butcher went behind closed doors today to tell a naval court of inquiry top secret details about the capture of the USS Pueblo.
Yeah.
Look at that.
God, that was 1969?
Yep. January 1969.
Oh my God.
Gary.
Scary.
We're going to be away. We're the fire truck. All the decorated fire engines are coming up the street.
Wow.
So
you're going to go after the parade?
We're going to go check it out.
Sure.
To get here, yeah. So
I've only got I've actually got a picture of you, Steve, coming up, but that's okay.
Oh Lord.
There he is.
Okay, what happened? This is very modern. I shouldn't say that. It's from 2006.
Oh,
so
Steve.
what is that? 14 years ago?
There's Steve on the left.
All right. So I also recognize Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is what it
is there. WA6KAI.
Okay, see who is that this one? No.
No, above the sign, second one.
This guy.
Right there.
Okay.
That's Bruce.
Oh, that's Bruce. Okay, yeah.
Is this Sam right?
Is that David? No, it's not Dave. It's not Whitewater Dave.
Oh, there's Joe right there.
That looks like Joe, yeah. I noticed this too. Yeah, that's Joe. Huh?
Kind of.
That's Joe.
Yeah.
Is that Sam in the back?
Yeah,
you know, it could be Sam. Yeah. Sam, is that you? Whoops. I made it too big. There we go.
Yeah, that's Sam.
Yeah, I think that might be Sam. I think that might be Whitewater Dave too. Oh, I can't swear to it.
I'll be darned.
Interesting. So this came up in my searches, and I thought it was neat, so I clipped it. But,
what's the date on that?
This is from 2006.
Oh, okay.
So this is ARLL Kids Day. ARRL Kids Day. Early Sunday morning, January 8th, the San Antonio Pass Amateur Radio Club, SPARC, set up a field radio station, complete with portable generators and improvised antennas at its Kids Day station at the Banning Kmart. SPARC members joined thousands of other licensed amateur radio operators across the United States and Canada in including children to amateur or ham radio during this event held every January and June. The children using the radios at the SPARC Kids Day station asked their counterparts typical questions. For example, how old are you? What's your favorite color? What are your hobbies? Where do you live? How cold is it? While the children at the SPARC station in Banning may have been enjoying sunshine and 65-degree temperatures, children at some other stations were 2,000 miles away and shoveling snow. In addition to providing hams with the pleasant opportunity to introduce children to amateur radio, Kids Day allows amateur radio operators to practice skills and use equipment needed when telephone services, electric power, and other utilities fail. As is the case last summer and early fall when amateur radio was the primary means of communication for the region affected by Hurricane Katrina. All right, I think I saw Bill with your hand up or something. Does anybody have comments on this? Sam, is that you?
I think you got Ron in there.
Well, definitely Ron. Ron is so easy to distinguish. We're trying to figure out if this was Sam, but we don't know.
I think
the guy on the top left. He is Rick, and I can't remember his last name.
He looks familiar to me.
Yeah.
I think I might have met him.
Yeah.
You may have. He's been gone for
a while. Yeah.
For a while, but he was part of the Racy's group.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that King next to me?
On your left.
This one?
On my left.
Yeah.
This guy.
Who's that? Oh,
I could zoom in a little bit more.
That's
I think that is Carl.
Oh
from the-
yes, you're right. That's Carl. The
Cardenas.
Cardenas. Yeah. Maybe he came out to witness it.
Huh.
Is that an ARRL sanctioned event or something? I don't think he was part of that yet. I don't know. Anyway,
What about the little boy sitting next to Steve? Who is that?
where's this?
this is at the 2006 ARRL Kids Day.
I don't know. The that's Bruce Harold, right? In the
Yeah, we noticed Bruce.
yeah.
Yeah.
And is that who's that?
No, this is Bruce. Yeah, this is Bruce. I don't know who the guy.
Who's
Oh,
It's not Ron McGuire.
oh, I don't know. It could be, I guess.
Doesn't look
It
like.
was over at Kmart.
Yeah, this is the Kmart parking lot apparently.
Oh my, yes.
And does that look like Dave Whitewater Dave? You,
I think so.
yeah, I think it
Almost
is.
looks like a Rutherford.
I
He
don't-
was up here.
I think it's him. I think that's him. But anyway, I thought this was a neat picture. So you guys pretty much have seen everything I found. I do have one other picture I didn't show you of Mr. The photographer. Let me get you guys out of the way. McCullough.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Sam, is that you up
No, that's
in the
not
back?
it either.
Sam, is
I
that
don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
Well, it looks like you.
because I would have had sunglasses on.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Hey, Steve, are you there? Steve? No?
Steve's,
Hey, Ron?
He's muted.
Yes,
Ron,
Steve.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
He's not
Uh,
muted.
do you remember the guy's last name, Rick, over there on the far left on the top?
Far
This
left.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No,
Yeah,
I don't.
you're right. He was big in races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Rick Bonney.
Yes, there it
That's
is.
it. That's
Rick
it.
Bonney.
He lives in Whitewater, the real Whitewater.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's the new one. Shoot.
100 McCullough there.
Yeah, find the other one here.
40s.
That's a shop. Dang it.
Oh, you're working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the camera shop.
You know, I'm remiss somehow. I know I will find the picture right now. Where did I see him before? I found him. Hold on. I'm not. Oh, here it is. How about this? Is it right here?
Bought a couple of
Yeah,
them.
here it is. Here it is. Okay, so this is actually like 68. So this is later on. He's older, a little bit older. But this is Leonard setting up a stereo camera, which is, super high tech, even in what it's. I think this is from 68, if I remember right. And down below, you can see the viewer. This is like it's got two pictures, one from slightly different angles, created by the two lenses, and then it gives you a stereo vision picture.
3D.
They were doing 3D, baby. Look, he's got another one up here, another viewer.
What was
So-
that viewer called that you used to be able to put the little slide?
Panoramic or something, or
Stereoscope.
stereoscope.
Oh, Viewmaster.
Viewmaster, yeah.
Viewmaster was a trade name.
Yeah.
But it
That was a clicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a stereoscope.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty neat picture of him, just because it's it's later. And there aren't very many pictures of. I had a hard time finding pictures of Leonard. Now apparently we went by Len too, because there was one place where they called him Len, Len. So You didn't have to call him Leonard. Anyway.
Well, he was big in Lions Club. And then one of the times I was in there, somehow I got talking where I was from. And I said, he says, I went down and started that club with, and he named all the people down there.
Yeah. He was definitely in the beginning. He was definitely right up to the beginning of the club. Absolutely.
And then their house was right, what was in front where you went in and shopped and stuff, their house was right behind it.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. Yeah, let's look at that
picture. The studio
picture.
was off to the right, or to the east.
Let's look at that picture
right,
again. Let me look at that picture again. McCullough. There it is. I love this picture because of the ham radio antennas. Yeah, great ham radio antennas. But yeah, I had read somewhere his original shop was just this portion, and where he had his studio and his camera shop both were in this portion. And then later, when people left the other side here, he took this over, and it has both parts of the building.
Well, then he lived right behind that. He was just part of it.
Well, maybe then these radio antennas are from his house, basically, probably. And
could be, yeah.
Yeah, not his studio. My parents had a car almost just like that. I think it might have been a year or two older.
Is that 98 Buick or 98?
Yeah, it looks more like a early 80s Buick, yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, it's an earlier. It's because you can tell by the bumpers. My parents had a 72 and it had the smaller bumpers. In the 74, they started with these giant bumpers. So I don't know. It could even be a late 70s model. Anyway, it's a nice picture. I love the antennas.
Yeah.
All right. So I have some questions and answers here. We're going to. I don't know how we're going to do this. I guess I'm going to put you guys up, and then I can see.
I'm going to have to check out.
Randy, you're leaving us?
Thanks for all the work, Dave. It's fantastic. And I'll watch the rest of it on
the video? Okay.
All right. So take care,
I'll make
guys.
Sure. Take care. Merry Christmas, Randy. We'll talk to you next week.
So long, Randy.
And that
Merry
goes.
Christmas, Randy.
Merry Christmas, Randy. That goes for me also, guys. I got to punch out of here. I got to get some things done. So.
Okay.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Nice presentation, Dave. There's more in that presentation than I knew about banning. So.
There you go. And you learned a little about banning too.
I did a lot.
Cool.
Anyway, 7-3. See you guys later. Merry Christmas.
See you later, Flip.
So long, Flip.
Okay.
All right. So this is the way it's going to work. I'm going to bring my question and answers up here. All right. Here we are. So I've got 3 questions. We're going to do them one at a time, and then we'll just do the best. Whoever gets the most right answers, I guess, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll do first 2, and then we'll do a tiebreaker, I guess. So I'm going to ask you guys to raise your hand if you think you know the correct answer when I ask the question. And then I'm going to try to determine who had their hand up first. And that's just the way it's going to work. So are you ready? And if we're with one at a time, nobody, don't give the answer away, whatever you do. And it's a multiple choice, all right? So wait for me to give you the answers. Who were interested people? Who were interested people? Okay, here we go. Who were interested people asked to contact in the very earliest SPARC news ad that I showed you? Was it Don Crawford, Ray Sansonetti, or Albert SPARC? Go ahead, Pete.
SPARC.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Anybody else want to take a guess at that one? Steve.
Sansonetti.
You're right. Ray Sansonetti was the person.
That's what I
to
meant to
contact.
say.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Steve, you got 1 point. You're the winner so
Whoa.
far. You're the winner so far. I'm not sure you qualify now. Don't answer the next one because I can't have you win both. We got to have somebody to match you up against. Okay. So here we go. During the very first dinner meeting of SPARC, how many hams and wives were in attendance?
Oh,
25? That's number one answer. Number two answer is 40. Number three answer is 30. Raise your hand. Okay, I saw Sam.
30?
You're right, Sam. So now we got Sam and Steve. This is not surprising. Two of the most experienced SPARC members we have.
Hey, Dave, why don't you show get rid of the picture there
Of you guys?
so we can see everybody.
Okay. You mean go bigger? Is that what you're saying?
Well, all I can see are
Yeah, let me see if I...
half a dozen of us.
Because I'm sharing my screen, I have to turn off screen sharing. Let me just do that. Hold on.
Of all participants.
Let me turn off screen sharing here. Hold on. Figure out how to do that. I forget. It always seems difficult. It's at the top. Here we are. Stop share. There we are. Okay.
There we go.
Now we're in normal mode.
Well, there's
All
Joe
right.
Becca.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Joe.
Okay, so we get Steve. Steve got number one correct. I don't know if this is worthy of a present or not. Two, and then Sam got number two correct. Okay, the third question I came up with. I don't know. Should I leave this open to everybody? I have to come up with more questions if I do that. I'll just have Stan and Steven and we're gonna have a playoff here with Steve and Sam. Okay, so here we go. Steve or Sam, you raise your hand. Now I'm going to give this again. This is a multiple choice question. Now this is actually too damn easy. Where was the first SPARC field day? Number one answer, an old cabin near Giant Rock in Yucca Valley. Number two answer, David Peak, south of Beaumont. Number three answer, Mile High Ranch above Cherry Valley. Hands up. Steve came up first.
I would say it's out Giant Rock.
You're right.
Yeah.
That was a lame question. I should have done better.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should make all the prizes random then.
Throw a dart if it's a string.
We don't know how we're going to do that. Anyway, I could come up with more questions, I suppose.
DJ's there.
Give everybody here that's on the screen a number, and
we do. Yeah, we could do that.
yeah, then have somebody pick a number somehow.
That's true. DJ?
I got numbers for all the hams of the club.
Okay.
Okay. Even if they popped in and had technical difficulties and had to leave, I made sure I wrote down all their numbers, and then I have a generator.
Good.
You have a random number generator too? Okay.
Cool.
So we're just going to pick hams?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
I think that's a good way to do it.
You want to? Here, let me hold this up here so you guys can see the numbers.
We could give Steve a prize, I suppose, since he won.
He won.
He won.
Gee,
I can almost see those.
Yeah.
I
Fun
can.
to read, DJ.
So are we supposed to remember our own number or something?
I'll hold it up.
Put some light on.
You want me to share my screen?
Oh, yeah, I could make you full size on my screen. That would help you helpful, I suppose. Spotlight video. Whoa. Okay. Now you're full screen on my screen anyway.
Yeah. Same here.
Ours as well.
Okay. So.
You want to let me share my screen?
You could do that. What? Are you doing the random number thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
It's not allowing you?
Yeah, it's not allowing me.
Hold on. There we go.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
How are the numbers assigned?
See, DJ.
I wrote them down as people popped in. I wrote them down in the order of people that popped in, and who the ones that are not on the list are the board members. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Before.
Board members are not do not
Yeah, that's good.
qualify.
Yeah.
So one of the things that yeah. Whoops. Okay. That's now a small DJ and a big screen is blank.
Oh.
Did you share the wrong screen or something?
DJ disappeared.
Oh, he's still there.
Oh,
He's just really small. He's small, DJ. I'm not seeing your screen though for some reason. Oh wait, maybe I know why. Maybe it's because I got you on large mode. Unhighlight video. How do we do this? Gallery mode.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, try sharing your screen against DJ. Oh, weird.
Sharing the pinwheel.
All I'm seeing is blank screen. I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, he's back down to little.
Yeah, it's DJ. It says he started screen sharing, but I'm not seeing your screen for some reason. It's weird.
I think I have too many tabs open.
Is that what it is? You've overloaded your computer?
I don't know. Yeah, get rid of some of this stuff.
Hey, you better hurry. My wine glass is getting empty.
Uh-oh. My Jack Daniels ran dry.
Oop. Expect something to happen. Dang. I don't know, DJ. It's failing. For some reason, it's not showing your screen. Can we trust DJ?
Sure.
Yes.
I think we could trust DJ to give us the right number. He's not participating anyway.
The only thing about that though is that DJ that goes right along with Dishonest John from Time for Beanie.
Oh.
Oh boy. That goes back a way, Jeff.
I used to have his puppet, a little puppet DJ.
I got Jeff in the 1960s now.
About Cecil the T6 sea serpent.
I got Jeff thinking in the 1960s.
We're talking about 1940s, 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way earlier than that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened, DJ.
Did that on purpose.
Do you want to just go ahead and pick some numbers? Okay, so you want to tell us all what our numbers are?
I pushed the button.
Okay.
Okay. The first winner is Earl, number 13.
Earl's already left, I think.
Yeah, he was here with.
Yeah, Edie and Earl were here. Okay. Well, are you writing this down, Jeff? You're making notes.
I'm writing it.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, I don't know. You could watch the video later, I guess. I just want to make sure that somebody writes it down.
Okay, Earl got the first prize.
Oh, hey, there we go. Cool. Now we see your screen.
Earl was 13.
Okay, Earl was 13. What is that? Okay, Earl's number 13. I got you.
That's pretty cool.
That's weird.
Number 7.
And number 7 was Sam.
Sam.
7-Eleven.
Okay, here we go
Who's
again.
next? Who will be next?
That is cool.
Yeah.
12.
12 was George.
George was in and out again. Boy, all these.
Yes, and his kept saying trying to connect and it wouldn't connect and it would. He'd be there in and out.
Okay, well, hey, he tried.
You try, yeah.
That's all that matters.
Okay. This is the last one?
The last
four,
one,
right?
yeah, we're just doing 4. We're doing 4. That's all we can afford. Not really. It's all we, the board would could to finance at one time.
Well, if Earl was 13, you know who was 14?
Edie and Earl, my goodness. The luckiest 2 SPARC people. Okay, so Edie and Earl and Sam, and then who was the other winner?
George.
George. Wow. Most not in attendance, but that's okay.
$25
$25 gift certificates to Amazon.
Very good.
Yeah, Earl and Edie made out. They can get $50.
Wow, yeah.
Man, what a deal. All right.
Cool.
So I think I'm gonna help Mike doesn't know yet, but I'm going to help Mike get those gift certificates sent to them via email, I presume. We'll have to verify their email addresses. And it'll all be electronic, so there's no...
Let Ray know.
Let who know? Oh. All right. Is there any other... Is there anybody with additional traffic for the annual SPARC?
George in the morning.
I did a little bit of research on the Rusty Lantern while you were doing other things.
Yeah.
It turns out that a couple founded it in 1944.
Wow.
And it was on what was then Highway 99.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah, Ramsey was Highway 99.
Right.
Wow.
And it was a main thoroughfare, obviously, between Los Angeles and Palm Springs. And because of that, numerous celebrities would stop for dinner.
I remember they had pictures of celebrities in the place.
And the three that were named in that was Frank Sinatra, John Wayne,
wow,
and the guy whose last name is Kirby, but he was Sky King.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Sky King was there. Wow. Thanks for the...
It used to be like seven or eight separate buildings, and in the 60s they connected all of the buildings to become one building.
Oh, okay.
Good work.
Interesting.
You know what Frank Sinatra's favorite drink was?
Dirty Martini?
No, they called it a 3-2. 3 rocks, 2 fingers of Jack Daniels, 1 splash of water.
Oh.
Wow.
And that's what he drank most of the time. A lot of pictures you'll see. That's what he's got in his hand.
Interesting.
Jack Daniels just printed that. I'm a Jack Daniels.
They use that for advertising, no doubt. Cool. All right. Well, I guess we're going to call it quits. Does that?
Damn.
I don't
Here's
know. Are
a
we
question
early?
for you, Dave.
Yeah. Unless you guys want to just hang out.
What was the club's original call sign?
Okay, I'm getting my notes. Let me get my notes.
Oh, you don't.
I saw that. And I didn't write it down because I haven't seen it on anything before.
K6QYF.
Yeah, actually, there's more than that. There's more info than that. Let me bring up the club roster.
When did it become PRC?
That's a good question. What happened here? Oh, this. Oops. Okay.
Hey, Pete. I think the PRC came when Bruce Harold was here, and he was trustee, and he made the application for it.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm curious.
When do you think that was?
I'm going to say
2000?
probably 28 or 9, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Oops.
Relatively recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
Ed,
not.
Ed, does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think you're close. I'm not sure of the year, but
Was it? That's about the time I joined. I
Well,
remember working on it.
We could go to the FCC website and see when it was issued, I think.
yeah, probably could.
But right now,
Actually,
Bill's on
okay.
it.
So yeah, 1961. I've got more information than that. 1961, the club call was K6QYF. Is that the same one?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay. Yeah, I knew there was one in my notes. And I actually have call signs for all the many of the first members. Because of that one article, they actually put all the call signs in the article. It was great. So, Sparks was...
the database says that a former call sign for the club was also Kilo Fox 6 Golf Delta X-ray.
Yeah. And actually, that was the first website for the club. It was like QSL or something.com / that call sign.
When they had the GDX, when it was GDX, Great DX.
Ah, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, and that was the one that precedes.
That's the one that precedes it. When you look it up online, it'll actually show our application for PRC because it was the previous call sign. Yeah. And I don't know about early field day. I'm wondering if you had to apply for a call sign just for field day, or if it was something that was permanent. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you had a club call that was permanent, but I kind of think maybe you got assigned one or something when you did field day. I don't know.
I thought I recorded.
Anyway.
I didn't. I thought I had a video. Didn't get it.
Steve.
That was me. Sorry.
It's okay. Who is that underneath? Oh, that's.
You wore him out, Steve.
Joe's got a weird background, but I can't see him anymore. Just his background. Hey, Joe's
messing with it to see what happened.
There you go. It's because you don't have enough light on yourself. You got to be really bright for that to work. Yeah. If you have enough light, it works. If you don't have enough light, then you disappear. So that's the reason, just so you know. If you had a blue screen, you could make it work anyway.
Let's see what happens when I do it this way.
That's better.
Sure.
Now you got some light. It might work.
Hey guys, gotta go.
Okay, Ron. Take care. See you later.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna bail also.
All right, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Ron.
Bye. All right. Tina, you've been really quiet. Are you there? Yeah, she is. I still have your dishes, Tina. I keep seeing them. They're in my way. I'm going to bring them over soon just to get them out of my way.
Second door if I'm not here.
Bring them over just to get them out of my way. Hey, Sam, are you leaving? You just
No, I was waving to Tina.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Tina.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Tina.
So Tina gave my brother and I a turkey dinner that apparently she had left. Her son wasn't going to make it, so she had extra food, and she gave us food. It was great. So just so you know.
Were you hanging out on the street?
She said, she goes, we've got food. I've got food. You want food? I'm like, yes, we want food.
Why not?
And it was great. It was better than the stuff that we got from the clubhouse. So, yeah. I guess that's not too surprising. But we actually had turkey dinner Friday and Saturday, thanks to Tina. As well as Thursday, of course. So we were really spoiled this year. Anyway. So.
Just to say goodbye, Janet and I are going to sign off.
Okay, Steve, thanks for following.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Stay
Merry
healthy.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So long. This has been fun. It's been good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
God bless.
Take care.
Okay, Dave, I'm going to bow out as well.
Okay,
Merry
bye.
Christmas, everybody.
Thanks for wearing your hat.
Hey.
Brought us
Okay,
into the Christmas spirit. Take care.
Okay. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks again, Mike.
Well,
Guys, I think I'm going to pull out of here too. And
okay, and what we're going to do is when this finishes, I will get the link to Jeff. He'll send out the link to the video in case anybody wants to watch it again. For some reason, when I do these live presentations on YouTube, the videos kind of get hidden into the live area, so they're hard to find on our channel. So I'll make sure I send out a link. Anyway.
Don't forget in the morning.
Oh, yeah, what's going on tomorrow, Sam?
I was telling Joe, don't forget in the morning.
Joe.
7:30.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got plans.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday. All right. All right, DJ, are you going away on us?
I'm going away. Merry Christmas.
Okay, Merry
everybody.
Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas.
Talk to you next week.
Stay safe.
Everything, DJ.
Bye, DJ.
Take care.
I'm going to bail out of here, guys. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Be safe out there. God bless all.
No,
See
you
you
too.
later.
You too, Joe.
Trees.
Take care, man. I'll go ahead and I think I'll cut this thing off since we're done.
You
I
did a
guess.
good job, Dave.
Thank
You did a
you.
good
Thank
job.
you.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Dave, that was good.
Thanks. Thanks. I spent a few hours on it. I tried.
Yes, you did.
It was a really very interesting presentation. I'm going to be working at DUI checkpoint tomorrow night in Redlands. So if you drink, don't
Don't
and
go to
drive.
Redlands. Don't go to Redlands. It's okay. I wouldn't drink and drive anyway, but you wouldn't see me in Redlands no matter what. I'm just not driving there. So have fun. Take care and don't be too mean to the people you find without registrations or whatever. Take care. All right, I'm going to end this thing, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Take care. 7-3.
Christmas.
7-3. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
All right. And so thanks for everybody watching on YouTube. We've been going for, quite a while. So I can't find the right window. I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, here we are. So, I'm hearing myself. And OBS. Stop recording. 7-3, guys.